The wait no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 306 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we're talking about a rumored third-person sci-fi shooter, social media's terrible memory when it comes to Suicide Squad, third party being big to PlayStation in 2023, The Last of Us show, and so much more. But with that said, and with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host who ever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. I flubbed that intro a little bit, didn't I, huh?
You're fine. It was great.
You know, the thing that I do now is like, I'll read it as I go. What a dumb decision that is. You know? Like I go, you write it up.
I type up the intro, and then you read it as soon as you want to say it for the show.
Exactly. And there could be spelling errors. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I'm not blaming you, but sort of.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Exactly. Joseph will read anything that's in the intro page. But Kyle, listen, we got a lot of PlayStation stuff to talk about. Of course, we technically missed a week because we threw together the Trophy Room Awards 2022. We found out what the game of the year was / is to over 2,500 plus of y'all out there. Is it safe to say which one it was now? Can we say like between Elden Ring and God of War? It's okay.
Yeah.
The drama's over.
Yeah. It's Ollie World.
Ollie World and Stray. They both came in.
It's
so
I think it's safe to say it's a 4-hour show. At the end of the day, after we repeated I love you to each other because we knew it was going to be a tough conversation, but tough. I love how we went about it. Our game of the year for 2022 is none other than God of War.
Elden Ring. Oh, dang. That's a weird way of saying Elden Ring, Kyle. Darn. I guess. Well, even if
you stuck with your vote,
yeah,
I think the audience pushed it over.
Sure. There was some rigging of the vote. We can. That's fine. But
this is going exactly against what you did in the award show.
I know.
What happened?
I decided to be a heel again.
Back on my bullshit.
Exactly. That said, Kyle, we also, between now and then, we did a little Last of Us in review / breakdown of the first episode of the HBO show. So if you're a patron, guess what? It's on your feeds. And if you're a YouTube subscriber, which please hit like, share, subscribe. It really does help us out. Beats that YouTube algorithm up. The video version's there. Enjoy. But for the podcast listeners, I felt I hate putting extra episodes on the feed that don't belong there, as it were. So what we're going to do, instead of flooding your feed with bonus, how we feel after the fact, I wanna read off a listener question just to start off the show get our feelers of the Last of Us show. Now, 5 days removed from the premiere. So, Spammin' Bammin' writes in, first off, congrats to The Last of Us HBO show for breaking viewership records. That's right. 2 days in, over 10 million people have watched the premiere of The Last of Us HBO show. They ask, what were your initial reactions after watching the first episode? Also, do you think the series will serve as a solid reference tools for writers / creators to utilize for video game adaptations going forward? Kyle, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm still blown away by it.
Yeah.
It's still amazing. I haven't gone back and watched the episode by itself yet. I think we're going to do that maybe.
It's been a one and done for you.
Episode. It's been a one and done, but I have watched other people. One of my favorite things to do is watch people react, do a recap thing as they're watching on YouTube. So I've watched a couple of those. Shout out to Heroes Reforged. I love y'all. They're amazing. So I've watched that a couple of times. So I'm probably going to rewatch it before Sunday night in episode 2. Okay. It's still the bar now.
Yeah.
It is the gold standard. It is the things that I didn't even pick up on in the Easter eggs for part 2, which I found out after the fact with the movie. I won't spoil anything, but like it's just incredible. And as far as like Spam and Bam's second question, I think the thing that other adaptations need to do from this point forward is to include the team behind the games more. I think if Neil wasn't so directly involved and Naughty Dog themselves not so directly involved in the making of this TV show, we would have had another, I don't know, Assassin's Creed on our hands.
Right.
Or Prince of Persia or something of that
Jake
nature.
Gyllenhaal? Jake Gyllenhaal's Prince of Persia?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, best movie of.
So I think that is the thing other adaptations need to learn from.
Yeah,
is to really bring in creators and people who know the source material, and not just have a one-off meeting with them. Co-develop the whole thing.
Yes,
I think is very important.
I think that's what hopefully PlayStation Productions continues to do with the God of War series that they're doing. And hopefully they take into the Uncharted 2 sequel.
Yeah.
That being said, I echo everything that you just said. I think this is special, man. Like I love it. As it's difficult being a Last of Us fan because it's hard to celebrate The Last of Us nowadays because everything has to be so divisive. But they nailed it. To see everybody cheering for this team, for the showrunners, I've been addicted to just consuming anything I can HBO show related. Like, yeah, going and listening to breakups just like you can too over at the PS Trophy Room on YouTube. But more than that, just seeing people that aren't gamers react to this. My whole family are addicted to it. My mother literally, she came up to me the night of, she's like, I don't know if I can watch this show at night because it's giving me nightmares. But also, here's this theory that I've been crafting for the past hour of what I think episode 2 is going to be, and how I know my mother's invested.
I love that.
This is how I know she's invested, because she has crippling anxiety. That's where I get it from, humble brag. She just goes, tell me everything that happens. And I'm like, relax, Miriam. We're not doing that. My father, who is as stoic as all get out, he literally is like, that was really good. That was great. And then, I was watching with my best friend Amy, who, she knows some of the plot points. She's interested in it because of Pedro Pascal and Joel are daddy to her, which that's a problem in amongst itself, but whatever. Internet, you do your thing. She immediately after watching it, she was just like, can we watch it again? Like
that's awesome.
Loved it. So, yeah, shout out to the team, because even listening to their post show or their collaboration show, whatever, the companion podcast that they have, there you go, that's the word. You can see that Craig Mazin, he understood the assignment. He did his homework. So yeah, shout out to them. And what this means for like reference tools, a lot of people were angry at some outlets going, this is finally the thing that breaks the video game curse, quote unquote. And I gotta say, everybody, let's walk back and just settle down a little bit, because as much as I love Arcane and I hear great things about Castlevania and, the cyberpunk anime is great from what I've seen of it, these aren't direct adaptations. And I think for direct adaptations this is the blueprint of how you do it. Because they do so many smart things and investigate and use references to just single line dialogue to serve as a replacement for the gameplay. So expertly done. And I do think, and I hate to give shade here, but I think Halo is the example of how you don't do it. I think both of these concepts can be used for future reference to people who want to, just use this adaptation for the direct source, not using the universe, no Detective Pikachu or Sonic movie of we're going to use some of the characters and, put it in the real world zaniness. I'm talking the direct story, beat for beat. How do you do it? It's going to be The Last of Us show for sure. That said,
and it does a great job balancing newcomers,
yes,
as well as making us feel like we are playing the game. Like, there are moments from the opening of the game that are directly in the show, episode 1, that is so faithful that I had such a grin on my face. I'm like, oh my God, they nailed that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, they nailed this little line of dialogue or this little look that they're giving each other or an object. I'm like, it's just perfect. It's fantastic.
Out Sarah's room. That's all I'll say.
Oh my God.
The Easter eggs that lie in there in the show is fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, Dicko writes in to put a little sauce on Spam and Bammon's question. He goes, simple question here. How many times have you watched the first episode? I've watched it 3 times. I can't wait for the next episode. Might stop at 3 and look forward to your views on it this week. Keep me ready for next episode. So, again, I watched it 3-ish times, and I did watch the first 30 minutes again before we recorded.
Now, I'm already bummed about episode 2.
Why?
Because it's only 50 minutes long.
Right. But Neil's directing it.
Only. Oh, I didn't know Neil was directing episode 2.
Neil's directing it, and things are happening.
Cool.
So,
I've also heard through the grapevine.
Tell me.
That I think episode 3, people who've seen a bunch of episodes, episode 3, a lot of people are saying is one of the greatest written episodes of any TV ever.
Oh wow! Okay.
I don't know if you've heard that as well, but I've heard that from a couple separate people.
Okay.
So okay,
all right. Listen, I'm in. I do want to state this too. I think this could be the Dave Filoni moment for Neil. You know, we talked a little about it last week where, Neil, or the week prior, where Neil is going to be writing his games more like shows, and everybody's like, oh, they're missing out on the game, blah, blah, blah. If you're a Star Wars fan, you know who Dave Filoni is. And Dave Filoni, we trust. He's created some of the best Star Wars episodes, and that's because he got to learn from the best. He got to learn the rules of the road thanks to George Lucas. And when creating The Mandalorian, he learned there of how to create live action and not just animation. So, from Jon Favreau. So when I tell you guys, he's learning from literally some of the best screenwriters right now to date, and what he's going to take from those teaching moments and put them in games. I don't know if we're ready for it, y'all, but I'm excited nonetheless. And before we get into it, I'd like to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It's like we say each and every week, if we ever got you through a long car ride, a tough day at work, whatever your situation may be, it definitely helps us out if you go on over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room and throw a buck or two our way. It's the reason why we look so good, sound so great. It's because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Now, y'all, I want y'all to buckle in, because I redid this entire list. Usually it just goes off of memory and a weird tangent. But now this is a new list, new year, new me.
Oh boy.
I'm going to mess up some names, and I apologize. And if I missed you here, please let me know. If I missed a pronunciation, please let me know. Discord, Twitter, whatever it is, please let me know. All right, our newest members: Matt Bio at the Bronze tier, Brian Holiday X at the Bronze Plus tier, Tino 6-Speed at the Silver tier, M. Kyle H85 at the Silver tier, Baldrin at the Silver Plus tier, and Mitchell Gramlin at the Silver tier. I want to thank our Platinum members, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our Gold members, Brad Presnell, Brent Gillian, Brent Griffin, Jedi Master N, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, Jose Jimenez, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Millennial Falcon Gaming, Ryuko Kill 90, Sif Lord 92, Spam and Bammin, Stephen Flesh, and Strubles and Bits. I want to thank our Silver Plus members, Awesome Dave, Cypher Primus, Baldrin, Bell Meldon, Daniel Welsh, Elo 2032, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hide Indoors, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, K Grim, Lamb Chop 93, Marcus O'Neill, Androzo, Astronaut Jr., not to be mistaken with Astronaut Sr., Rick Arrington, Dewane Raksha, Aztec King, Robbie Bobby Miller himself, Brenton Zachary, Brenty Blob, Bubble Boy N7, Captain Logan, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, M9 Prime, Stone Cold ET, Tino 6-Speed yet again, M Kyle yet again, N Johnson, and Sean McKenzie. Thank you all so much for sticking with me there. Because my brain, it's used to the pattern. Great. But I feel like...
no, you're in that flow. It's like the muscle memory. It's just not there.
That's right. Get it. You'll get it. By next week, I'll only stumble twice. You know?
Yeah.
All right, Kyle.
If you want Joe to keep stumbling, though, tell your friends. Support us on Patreon.
Yeah.
Let's keep the stumble train going.
And put some wacky names in there. You know? Things with 18 syllables. Go for it. I don't care. As long as it's not the Silver Plus tier, you know? You could call yourself Bleep Blop Bloop. It's cool. That's us. That's an us thing now. All right, Kyle. It's finally time to square up the news.
First bit of news that needs to be squared up comes from Zermina Khan over at PlayStation Lifestyle. And Zermina writes, PlayStation announcing new third-party content very soon. The recent PlayStation State of Play 2023 rumors have intensified following a tease by a known insider with an impeccable track record. According to the snitch, yes, the one who quote-unquote retired not long ago, Sony is, quote, about to announce third-party stuff very soon, end quote. Could Metal Gear Solid Remake be shown off at PlayStation State of Play 2023? Now that Silent Hill rumors have been put to rest, all eyes are on the rumored Metal Gear Solid Remake, which is reportedly exclusively in development for the PS5. Where there's smoke, there's likely to be fire, and we have enough reasons to think something might be happening on that front, like a recent tease from MGS producer. According to the latest report, an announcement could come as soon as February or March. As spotted by Insider Gaming, they wrote on their Discord server that their source is reliable, given that the snitch has never really been wrong and tends to tease announcements shortly before they happen. And in another article from Zermina adds, Quentin Flynn, who's been the voice of Raiden since Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, asked fans to stay tuned for things to be announced. From the sound of things, it looks like Konami will pull a Silent Hill in that it'll announce multiple Metal Gear revival projects from various studios.
So, Kyle, the snitch has never been wrong, right?
Correct.
Every time they put out a little tease or a little hint, something pops up related to. Now, it is weird. This is a two-part question. All right, hold on tight. One, why do you think the snitch unretired? And B, do you think that this lends credence to us either getting a Metal Gear Solid show or a State of Play? Take it away.
Ooh. I don't know why he would, or he, she, they, I don't know why they would retire.
Yeah.
Or unretire so quickly, because it's only been like what, a month, if that.
Yeah, it's been less than a month, really. Yeah.
It's been quick. I don't know of their motivations for doing that. Part of me though, Joe, says that this is just the PlayStation trailer thing we just got like yesterday, where like here's all the third party stuff you can play in 2023, and they have the whatchamacallit. At the bottom, they say only on PS5, right? Because they're now moving away from last gen, at least from third party stuff. I have a feeling that's probably what this is referring to.
Okay,
and I'm saying that as somebody to not get my hopes up for a State of Play anytime soon, because I want one so bad, just like everyone else. So I'm trying to keep everything in check. I could see Konami pulling another Silent Hill thing and just here's a Metal Gear showcase or something like that. But at that showcase though, Silent Hill 2 remake was announced for only PlayStation, right?
Yes.
Because I was gonna say maybe that wouldn't work for like if Bluepoint is doing the remake or whatever. Right. But yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Now here's the thing though, and let's get a little critical here. Do we want anything Metal Gear on other than a remake that isn't from Kojima? Because they tried it with, a Metal Gear Survive.
Bring out Survive?
That's right. I'm going to bring that out. Like, do we think there's anybody but Kojima that could actually tackle this project?
Oh. As you ask somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of history with Metal Gear.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Kojima, for that matter. Yeah. Death Stranding is the only one that I've really played, although I played a ton of 2 back in the day. I think we're far enough apart where the people who will be in charge of the remakes or remasters or whatever have that love for the series.
Okay.
That I think they're going to do right by it, but when it comes to like a brand new entry, I doubt we're going to get another new story entry. I feel like that wouldn't work without Kojima.
Yeah, because I do feel like his crazy mind is so, entrenched with every project that they make. Like we're even seeing him step into some of the movie studios right now, right? Like I thought the A24, which is handling his Death Stranding movie. So like, yeah, Kyle, what up?
And do we trust anyone other than Kojima to understand the story of the games he's making?
Yeah, I mean that's
and keeping all the storylines together and coherent.
Yeah, I mean that's it's just such a huge, monumentous thing to overcome that I don't know if they're up for the task, or anyone really is up for the task. As someone who is new to the Kojima, brand, who is new into his games, just seeing how out there his line of thinking is when it comes to just creating games. It's like they're not just simple iterations of games prior. They're usually using something somewhat fundamentally different from the previous title. So yeah, for me, the person really has to deeply be entrenched with Kojima to really understand this, or maybe he has a producer credit on it. That would be really neat to see. But hopefully, what up?
Oh yeah. So if it sounds weird for everyone listening at home, Discord's being funky. Yes. So I don't want to overstep Joe talking, so I'm raising my hand. That's why he's calling on me.
You know what? I'll be like Kyle from the trophy room. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. I just wanted to bring up that I remembered, and again, it was in the story, but I just didn't remember or didn't click in the moment.
Sure.
I don't think Rising Revengeance was directed from Kojima either.
I do think he had a producer role in it, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't like behind the helms the entire time. I don't think so.
Are you saying we're gonna get another Revengeance Part 2 from Platinum?
Maybe. I'm trying to figure out like if that's true.
Okay. I see you're doing the work, and I appreciate it. I hope that this means we get a state of play soon. And I do think we get a state of play pretty soon. You're less than a month away at this point of launching your major PlayStation VR headset. Let's see that line up in a more broad sense, introducing the vast majority of players to PlayStation VR 2 and the lineup. So I do think you need a state of play there. Kyle from the trophy room? You have your hand up, yes?
Hi, yes. Mr. Babbitt, just a point of information for you to add to this conversation.
Yes.
The director of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is Kenji Saito.
Okay.
So not Kojima.
Okay, so maybe it could be done.
I think people like that game.
Yeah, I think it's like it's acceptable. Like the fans, to an extent, allow it. They're like, all right.
It's a different type of game, though, too, right?
Yes.
It's not stealthy.
Yeah, no, very much like hack and slash. I think of like Devil May Cry or, like the Nier games almost. Yeah. All right, Kyle. That's all we got for the Metal Gear Solid stuff. That's all I can milk out of this. But again, I do think we get a PlayStation State of Play soon. I do think it happens. Please. Let's put the good vibe out there. Please, talk to us again.
Please. I'm walking up with my plate with breadcrumbs on it. Please?
I want some more. It's time to talk about the thing that everybody's talking about. The Patsies. Some type of...
Let's do it.
Suicide Squad.
What are we? Some type of Suicide Squad? Oh. Andy Robinson over at VGC writes, leaked Suicide Squad image appears to confirm Battle Pass and more. The image, which originated on the 4chan forum, has been verified by a VGC source, is understood to originate from a recent test build, and shows various menus planned for the Rocksteady co-op game. Before I continue, Joe.
Yes.
Who's the guy at 4chan supposed to keep everything safe? Is it Mark? Shout out to Mark.
Yeah, shout out to Mark. Shout out to Mark, keeping everything safe.
Hey, shout out to Mark. Yeah. The safety coordinator over there at 4chan.
That's right.
The battle pass and multiple currencies shown in the image have inspired debate on social media about how extensive the live service elements will be for the title. However, a development source told VGC that while battle pass is planned for the game, it will be focused on cosmetic items such as skins. In addition, the various currencies shown at the top of the leaked image are understood to be XP used to power up and customize the skill trees of each anti-hero, effectively making them unique to the player. Quote, you don't start off debuffed and weak, VGC was told. You just start off great and can get ridiculous like Arkham Knight's Batman. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, the next game from the creator of the Batman Arkham series, is billed as a quote-unquote genre-bending action-adventure shooter set in an open-world metropolis.
Ooh-wee. Now we got two questions that tie into each other. It's an Inception question. First comes from the Muffin Man. They write in just like you can too if you head on over to PS Trophy Room on Twitter or the Trophy Room Discord link down in the description. They write, do you think the quote-unquote leak regarding Suicide Squad will negatively impact the game ahead of launch? I can only speak for myself and say that I had little interest before seeing it, and now that I know it's a game as service title just confirms it isn't for me. I know you're both excited for it. Has the excitement changed, or has this quote-unquote leak a bunch of noise and complaining just for the sake of it, especially because we've seen very little about the game? And this ties into Toxic's question. Toxic. Hey guys, curious about your thoughts on the Suicide Squad leaks, especially you, Kyle. After having played Gotham Knights, which I never personally played, when I saw them, I was disappointed, but also not surprised. The leaks may mean it's a on-sale buy for me for now, unless it's reviewed really, really well. Kevin Conroy, I think, is enough to draw a few despite the leaks. Hope it's not as messy as Gotham Knights, though. Kyle, you are a huge Rocksteady stan, a huge Batman fan.
I am.
Reading this news, what are you thinking here? Everybody's upset, so I think you are too.
Mm-hmm. You think I am too? Is that what you said?
I think you're boiling with anger.
Oh.
That's just the type of guy you are.
Axe kick the desk. Goodbye, desk. Bam! How dare you? Am I wrong here?
What?
We knew this,
right?
I know. I questioned it probably a few weeks ago because I wasn't sure if they walked it back, but I knew when it first was announced or talked about, it was a game that says service kind of thing. And looking at it, it does look like that, like just the basis of it. So yeah. I was expecting this. I am not nearly as nervous as I think I should be after playing Gotham Knights.
Okay.
And maybe that should be just because I am a Rocksteady stan, as you say.
Yeah.
I just have so much faith in that team, and I had faith in the Gotham Knights team as well.
Yeah.
But there's something different about this one.
Sure.
And the fact that the currencies aren't for like upgrading materials or whatnot, and they're all over the place, and there's a ton of them. These are just for each specific anti-hero.
Yeah.
And their skills. I think where Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad are different is I think Rocksteady is going to lean into the skills of the characters.
Sure.
Gotham Knights was leaning into the weapons and upgrading your costumes for different elemental effects and whatnot. And I feel like Rocksteady is just like, unlock the skills to do cool things in the game, and cosmetic will just be the skins that we know Rocksteady has been doing forever. Every Arkham game has a ton of skins for every Batman. Yeah. So I just, that's what makes me not nervous about this. Even though games as service isn't exactly my jam. I have faith in that team.
Sure. For me, I have faith because it's Rocksteady. They haven't made a bad game. A lot of people are like, oh, it's like Avengers. It's like, really? I think, no offense to the Tomb Raider devs, but like Insomniac just doesn't miss. And for me, I take a look at like Crystal Dynamics. I'm like, that's not a 1-to-1. Those are two totally different studios with two totally different pedigrees. Yes, Kyle from the trophy room.
Did you mean Rocksteady? You said Insomniac.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Insomniac? Yeah, no, I meant Rocksteady.
You did.
But also still different studio. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, sure.
So for me, I have a lot of faith in what Rocksteady can bring to the table. That being said, too, I feel like we've known this. Maybe it was like a Jason Schreier leak, but I was like, okay, cool. Not what I was expecting, but hope they nail it. I don't know why every single project, if a developer deviates from what they've normally done, has to be met with such skepticism. And like, sure, it's a games as service title. It has a battle pass. Why is that innately a bad thing? As long as it treats the customer with some type of respect, it can exist. Like, take a look at Fortnite. I think it's a great example of a battle pass of like, it's all cosmetics. Yeah, it's a gold standard. It's all cosmetic. Call of Duty, for the most part, all cosmetic. You know, when you take a look at even like some mobile games like Marvel Snap, it's like $10 a month and I'm in on it. You know, I get all these different card packs. I love it. So like, why is it just because they're doing something different, it has to be met with, I don't know, I hate this. Like, we really have to draw it back. I do think it does tie into, because we've seen so little from it, that maybe that has us skeptical. Maybe it's the nature of games as service where we don't know if the story has a definitive end or if it purposely leaves a hook there, just like games like Destiny do. But I want to just beg the question here. What game have you ever played that has a definitive like end? What franchise? Because all franchises have turned into this. You know, it's kind of why I respect things like The Last of Us, because, you know, part 2 was a huge deviation from sequels before it. So to me, it's like I take a look at Assassin's Creed, I take a look at a Call of Duty, and all of these things, you know, these yearly, bi-yearly titles, these franchises that constantly get milked. Why can't a developer just go out there and do something different? And as long as that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. I don't know. I really don't get the outrage. And I think it is, you know, I think either Toxic or Kevin was saying, it's like, I think people just want to be angry. And please, you know, maybe this is just a narrow-minded approach by yours truly. Maybe let's get a little less angry, you know? That said,
maybe my view would change if we see more of the menu and more of the gameplay and how the game goes. But as far as that screenshot goes, I just see the team that we get to play and choose as and menu tabs. That's literally all I see.
And can I say something, Kyle?
Yeah.
Hi, Joseph from the trophy room. I would like to say,
Mr. Badbit. Yep,
hi, yeah. I would like to say, when people complain about the quote unquote Fortnite UI, I see that on social media now. You are the least interesting person I've ever met. I just want you to know that. When people complain about menu UI, it really has to be like, I could understand with certain games, but when you just saw a screenshot, it's like, let's just step back and reevaluate things. Because like, the Call of Duty UI is a mess, but it has so much it's doing and juggling. Like, I don't know why there was people complaining about the menu UI. I think that was ludicrous. That being said,
that's wild.
The Green Gorilla Gamer writes
is there a TIE fighter moving in the background?
Perhaps the wind's moving it.
Oh, you have the window open?
No, like the fan's on.
Oh, I thought it was a ghost.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's funny you say it. We do have a third guest. It's a specter. It's a ghoul and a goblin.
Oh, a full-on specter?
I know. It's just for this episode, folks.
Mr. Shepard, what's your favorite place on the Citadel?
Wherever Tali is, baby. All right. Green Gorilla Gamer writes in. My question for you is, if this is a straightforward story-driven game, just like the Arkham franchise, what would you like to see in its story? How do you want the Justice League to, well, die? And do you think this game will get delayed? I don't think it will, just because it's one of the games shown in the PlayStation trailer for 2023 games. Green Gorilla, let me tell you something. Being a game in a trailer does not stop this baby from getting delayed. But What do you think, Kyle? Do you think this is a straightforward story, kind of like what I was alluding to earlier, where it's just like you get a beginning, a middle, an end, and maybe there's some DLC afterwards to keep you engaged, but there's a definitive ending here.
Mm-hmm.
Got to kill the whole goddamn Justice League,
one would think. Yeah, I false advertising, right?
Exactly.
I don't think it gets delayed.
Okay.
I don't. I think the last delay from out of last year was long enough for them to get everything worked out and fix everything before it's coming out May, right? It's a few days after my birthday or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah. As far as the story goes, yeah, I think it's straightforward. I imagine they have to kill the whole Justice League, with the caveat, I think there's some shenanigans that brings them all back at the end.
Oh God, like the Avengers, like we have a clone machine.
Either that or they rewind time and to stop Brainiac from doing everything in the first place.
Sure.
Because I imagine it's Brainiac. I don't know if they said that, but it looks like they're under Brainiac's control.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So I think we're going to get a pretty straightforward story. There's a lot of members to the Justice League, not just the main core. So I do think like DLC pack, you're killing like the Green Lantern or someone, right? Cyborg, who cares about Cyborg?
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter. Like, so I do think we're going to see more heroes in this, just other than like your Superman, Batman's, Flash, and all that jazz. But and I know, okay, Green Lantern is the original 6, but subtle. Just relax. There's going to be people like, oh, he's part of the Justice Society. How dare you? But like, more than that, I do think we're going to get a straight story. And for people just to get scared off for the Avengers, as an example, I get it. But do you not think they saw the Avengers come out and go, oh, wow, there's some lessons to be learned here? Because I absolutely think that's the case. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. You not think they're looking at Gotham Knights right now going, okay, oh boy, that happened. How do we take some steps in our direction? So I do think if there are some lessons that they need to learn from Gotham Knights to put into this game, they'll definitely go back and delay this game by a few months to fix those things. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to get delayed out of this year. But I want to just say to everybody, just relax and give these devs a break. Just breathe.
Absolutely.
And WB, you're on notice, okay? You done tried to censor my tweet, and I was defending you. It's like when you're trying to break up a fight and you get punched, and you're like, what the hell, dude? What the hell?
It's so annoying, too. Just by doing that, tells everyone that the thing that we all saw is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're just admitting, quote-unquote, guilt. Yes. Or acknowledgement of this leak thing is real and true.
And
it's just it's ridiculous. But a follow-up question for you, Joe.
Okay. Yes. Kyle from the trophy room, yes.
Yes, hi. Yeah, great that you raised your hand after I called on you. That's fantastic.
No problem, sir.
DC is also making a separate Wonder Woman game with Monolith, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to run into this situation where we're going to have two different Wonder Womans very close to each other? That's upsetting.
Are you upset?
A little bit.
I don't think Wonder Woman's coming out in 2023 nor 2024, though.
No. But sure. But what I mean is we get introduced to a brand new Wonder Woman in a game, which I feel like the only Wonder Woman I can think of in a game is from Injustice.
Yeah.
Unless I'm mistaken of something. So we're getting a story-driven Wonder Woman part in this Suicide Squad game.
And we're killing her.
And then a year and a half, 2 years later, we're going to get a standalone Wonder Woman game that's a different Wonder Woman?
Yeah. Wonder Woman.
It's a little bit annoying.
In its own universe.
Just a little bit.
It's kind of like the Batman and the DCU right now, which like, James Gunn, I'm on your side, but don't accidentally hit me, bro. Keep the Batman 2 alive because the Batman was amazing. Okay?
Yes.
Please.
Oh,
please.
Let me add on to what I just said because I feel like I can sense people yelling at me in their car or writing in the comments. I understand that we've gotten different Spider-Men.
Yeah.
In different games.
Sure.
But it's not
so close.
It's not a full on you only play a Spider-Man game.
Okay.
Right? He's popped up in different things. And even in like Midnight Suns, for example, it's still Yuri. So like it.
And when it's not Yuri, it's sort of weird. Like, take a look at like Spider-Man in Avengers.
Whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. That was upsetting. So.
Yeah.
Everybody relax. It's going to be fine. You're going to be okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. Now, this is where I get a little upset. The next story here. Take it away.
Okay. Joshua Wolins from PC Gamer writes, Ubisoft CEO tells staff the ball is in their court to turn the company around. Oh, boy. Ubisoft's been having that's in the title. Oh, boy. Ubisoft's been having a rough time of it lately. Skull and Bones got delayed again. The company canceled 3 unannounced projects, and its share price has taken a hell of a bruising. But CEO and co-founder Guillemot knows just whose responsibility it is to turn things around. His staff's. In an email seen by Kotaku, Guillemot told Ubisoft staff that, quote, the ball is in your court to deliver this lineup on time and at the expected level of quality, end quote. After the company's myriad delays had weighed on our costs and decreased our associated revenues. Guillemot told staff that he needed their full energy and commitment in order to make sure that Ubisoft gets back on the path to success. Guillemot, who was set to make $624,000 funny money last year after taking a 30% pay cut, he earned $1.03 million in 2021. Also implored staff to, quote-unquote, be especially careful and strategic with their spending and initiatives in order to assure that the company was being, quote, as efficient and lean as possible, unquote. To be clear, Ubisoft is floundering at the moment, and it'll absolutely require hard work from everyone at the company to steady the ship in the months and years ahead. But for the company's millionaire CEO to lay all that responsibility at the feet of his staff and seemingly take none for himself in the process is profoundly tone-deaf. For the statement to come from Ubisoft with its recent and ugly history of workplace mismanagement and abuse only makes the statement more wince-inducing.
Oh, wow. That is,
oh my God,
that is the worst quote I don't know who okayed that quote. Like, yeez, my brother in Christ, the ball is in your court to deliver this lineup on time and expected level of quality.
That's like, let me take a recent tragedy of mine and try to put a funny joke spin on it.
Please.
I got let go from my job.
All right,
I know what you're going to tell me. It is what it is.
Yes.
That's like everyone saying me or my former boss and coworkers when I'm like, oh man, I wonder how I can pay my bills now. And they're saying, oh, the ball's in your court.
Yeah.
Get a job. Yeah. I had a job. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's out of our control. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't mind me sharing, you like when you told your boss, you're like, dude, like I my car broke down and now this.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
yeah, my car is essentially totaled. 2 days later, I get they pull me in and say, hey, we don't have the budget or a position for you anymore, so we have to let you go. And then that was it. And I didn't see that coming. I was like...
But then your boss is like, well, don't make me feel bad. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said I had a tough week, and he responded with, oh, well, don't tell me that. Now I feel bad. What the... Excuse me? What do you mean? Oh, the ball's in my court to make you feel good about yourself right now. Oh, okay. I get it. Hey, gee Willikers. Thanks for letting me have this job for the last year and, allowing me to live my life and pay my bills. Oh, fantastic. Cool. Fantastic. Hey, Eve, shut the hell up, dude. This is awful. I hate this it makes my skin crawl. I hate it with every fiber of my being. Yeah. How far displaced and out of touch do you have to be? How much money are you sitting on top of as you're telling your servant to draft up this letter in your quill and ink and send it to everyone in the company? What in the world is this about?
It sounds like our friend Ains when he's talking to his interns, That's what this sounds like. Take that. Season Gaming Ains, he treats his interns real bad. But, to me, it just screams as someone who doesn't want to take responsibility for what is essentially his company. It is his company. It's not even essentially, it's his. And it's just like, hey, listen, I know I oversee all of this, but it's your fault and you got to fix it. And now I'm strapping the belt in. So we're going to be, it's so out of touch. Now, I will say he did something somewhat appropriate, taking a 30% pay cut. That's great. But I would have awarded that and be like at least 50%, right? That's a start.
Yeah.
But actions with words, man. Be like, listen, this has been a COVID's beating the crap out of us. You know, our pipeline is in disarray. We're going to fix this. And it starts with you actually firing people that are mismanaging, that are behind some of the alleged abuse, instead of just keeping them around.
Absolutely.
Because the workplace it seems like is sick and tired of that. Of this, from what numerous reports call like the boys club type of attitude. Maybe it's time you look internally here, is what I'm really trying to say. And maybe that's a narrow-minded way of looking at it. Mm-hmm. But you gotta look inward, man. If something's not going right in your company, you gotta fix it. If something's not happening right in your department, you got to fix it. It's on you. It's not on Jared in accounting if you're running accounting. So, to me, that quote's ignorant, but there is some action behind it of like taking a pay decrease. That said, a lot of people are like, well, this is the end of Ubisoft. They're going to sell themselves. Rumor has it they're going to sell IP. And I'm like, let's not get crazy now. They're still making a lot of money. It's just recent games haven't hit the way that they've wanted to, like Mario plus Rabbids, which is a shame. Yes, Kyle from the trophy room?
I think everyone's getting that Ubisoft fatigue.
Yeah.
I think it's hitting everyone. I think every single one of their games feels the same.
Which I think
same kind of loop, and like it's a bit boring.
And that's why I think,
like, I'm not excited.
No, yeah, I think that's why like Assassin's Creed Mirage, I was gonna say Massage, is so exciting to a lot of folks, because it's a different Assassin's Creed. It's a return to the old time, which we loved so much. And Massive's game, Pandora, Avatar, whatever, that being lauded as one of the most ambitious titles that Disney is super excited to see more of. I think there is some underlying message of promise to come, but also it is troubling to see that they've canceled 3 unannounced projects. What's happening to, what is it? Prince of Persia remake. Like, Beyond 2, what is it?
Good and Evil 2.
Beyond Good and Evil 2,
I was going to say, like, you cancel 3 unannounced projects, but we've seen you delay Skull and Bones for the last 5 years?
Yeah, and now they're hiring like
that, and
a squad to get it done on time, or something like that, like a hit squad.
And then Beyond Good and Evil 2. I was going to bring up too. How long has that been in development? And you're saying it's on the rest of the company's shoulders for picking up the slack and falls in your court.
Yeah.
Who was the one in charge of letting these games get so out of hand and the budget get so out of hand?
Yeah, and I would say it's time to look at management, of whom you keep are keeping on your payroll, though people are telling you not to. I think it's people that are okaying some of these decisions ought not to, and they need to be reevaluated. Not the QA tester at
no. Yeah,
it's a bit ridiculous. Again, they're not. Let's get into this next question. This will take it.
Yeah. Whoever okayed $5,000 to each Ubisoft or to each Just Dance dancer in a costume on stage at E3, right there, that's like $1.5 million every single year. That's not okay.
Absolutely. Maybe walk back the left shark budget.
Yeah.
My Tainted Brain writes, so Ubisoft is selling off IP. We don't know that yet, Tainted Brain. We don't know. Who knows? It could happen. Which IP would you like to see sold to a company that would that would bring it back to life. Any preference of who you like to see by Ubisoft if it does indeed end up being sold? And wasn't EA on the buyers list early last year? We may still be in the era of big buyouts. Depends on how this economic situation that the world finds itself is in. But if, industry leakers such as Jeff Grubb has said they've been looking for buyers and they can't find any. Think about it like this. First off, Ubisoft's not going anywhere anytime soon. They need to be leaner, and unfortunately that means people are going to have to be laid off because Ubisoft is like a company of like around 5,000 people. And a company that size making the profit that they are, it's wild. So to me, just seeing, like, again, they make less revenue than, say, an Activision Blizzard, but they hire just as many people is a wild concept. And they're from all over the world. So to me, it does seem, unfortunately, that there's going to be the axe to some folks in some positions, which is sad to see, but I think that's an inevitability. I think Ubisoft needs to be a leaner company, which means they got to let go on some projects that just don't make sense, which is what you're seeing right now. That said, though, Kyle, do you think that there's going to be an Ubisoft buyout, overhead? And if there's an IP that you'd like to see someone snatch up, because this is a PlayStation show, let's just say, would you like to see PlayStation snatch up?
Yeah. I, for one, on the sole purpose of me not wanting to hear about it for a year straight, I don't want anyone to buy Ubisoft.
Yes, please, for the love of God.
I do not. I am so tired about hearing about Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
And that buyout situation. Yeah. So I just don't want it to happen to any other. Any other. Whether it's Square Enix, Ubisoft, it could be fun and exciting times, whatever. I just don't want to hear the back and forth between these rich billionaires. I just can't.
No more.
As far as IP goes for PlayStation, I mean, the easy answer I would say is Assassin's Creed, right?
Oh,
that's the biggest thing.
Really?
But I'm going Far Cry.
Oh,
I want Far Cry.
Why Far Cry?
PlayStation, quote unquote, exclusive, because I realize they have some in the works that fits a need. A first-person shooter only on PlayStation. Far Cry, those games are incredible. I love the worlds, but I think being under PlayStation's umbrella, they might be able to retool just what that gameplay loop is and not have like the same, here's a watchtower, let me go up, let me unfog this area of the map. Oh, let me go skin this animal to upgrade this thing. And like, the villain that pops in every once in a while and is smarmy and has great dialogue and then disappears for a couple hours.
Sure.
There needs to be some retooling of that formula. And I think
do want to just call you out here for a second.
Underneath it.
You did just also describe Horizon. a little bit.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah. No, you're fair. That's fair.
I feel like PlayStation, when it comes to
there's been more Far Cry entries, though.
Fair enough.
So maybe that's why it feels a little
dated.
That. But you're right. Yeah, you're right. No, I'll take that. Let me go. Excuse me, Mr. Badman. I'm going to go on the blackboard and write, I will not tell lies. A million times on the blackboard. Okay?
Permission granted.
Okay.
The IP that I would like to see, Kyle, is, I heard a few folks going, ooh, Rainbow Six would be, because PlayStation doesn't have a lot of, don't have any shooters. I think that's a brave pick. Though I do think PlayStation is making those shooters, so I don't think they would be interested in Rainbow Six Siege. What I would like to see from them, and I think they are, when I'm thinking of what is a game that could align or IP that aligns with PlayStation the most, I don't say Assassin's Creed, because I feel like that's an obvious, that would stay. I think that's an obvious, that would stay with Ubisoft. It makes too much money for them not to. I don't think Far Cry for the same reason, even Rainbow Six for the same reason. I think of IP that they're not using. Splinter Cell. I think if there's anyone that could tell a good narrative, it's Sony. And if there's anybody that can do it, I think Sony would be the one that I would like to see the most. Though, I would say if Xbox was not able to get Splinter Cell, one of the games that put Xbox on the map, I'll just say this, y'all. As a PlayStation fan, that would be embarrassing for you. So I really do hope Xbox comes in and goes, hey, listen, we'll take Sam Fisher from you. You're not doing anything with him. Let's, please. But I think so.
On that note,
yeah, please.
I would also add in Rayman.
I knew you would. Yeah. Who
I completely forgot about. Team Asobi.
Okay. What about Meteor Molecule?
Some Astrobot Rayman. Oh, that'd be good too.
I'm telling you, I'm smart.
Or Pixel Opus.
Ooh, yes.
They'd be pretty good too.
I like that. Yeah.
Bring some more mascot platformers back on PlayStation, please.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there you go. Ubisoft is a mess, but it's not Doomsday. No. You just plug up some of those holes and the ship's going to run fine.
That Eves was talking about, that is Doomsday.
Yes.
But the company itself, I think, will be okay.
Now, the last bit of big news here, Kyle, is a little segment that I'd like to call Rumor Has It. Take it away.
Alessio Palumbo from WCCF Tech writes, new PlayStation sci-fi shooter RPG leaked through brief video. A new leaked video showed a few seconds of gameplay that reportedly belonged to a sci-fi shooter role-playing game, a PlayStation exclusive developed by a European studio with collaboration from Sony XDev. The video has now been taken down, likely due to copyright requests from Sony. According to renowned insider Dusk Golem, this is very early footage from the so-called Project Ooze. Quote, well, obviously I can't say if this will come out or not. I'll mention I personally have seen a lot more of this game and more recent stuff for this game than this clip. Not this clip, but the game itself beyond this clip is at least at a point currently, the game is fully voice acted, music composed specifically for it, been far more fine-tuned than this clip. I just am looking forward to it eventually getting announced on my side and the devs properly showing it off. Ooze is a nickname I attribute to the project rather than what it'll be called. The nickname will make more and more sense when people see more of this whenever they do. It's a very ooey gooey game, more than this clip even suggests. The developer behind this new PlayStation sci-fi shooter RPG could be Polish studio People Can Fly. Reset Era users spotted the codename Red in the video, and People Can Fly is indeed known to be working on several projects, including one with such a name.
All right. First off, it looks like Dusk Golem's been listening to this podcast if he's saying ooey gooey. But I want to know what you're thinking about this.
I think of Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers.
Same. Movie. I think it was like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like commercial, or I think it's like Power Rangers, where it's like you lose in the ooze. Like that's what I think of every time.
Yeah.
Every time I think of ooze, brings me back to the 90s.
Or Vanilla Ice on stage with the turtles dancing at a nightclub.
Oh God.
Go ninja, go ninjas, go. Sorry.
Oh my God, was that Vanilla Ice right there? With us in the podcast?
I know, right?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you think of this news? Did you see the little clip? Everybody's like, look at the graphics. You don't know why. It's like this is a game in development. Not see the clip. No?
Yeah, no. I didn't see the clip. But it's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting more than the clip. It's literally, the clip is like a 3-second thing of like a non-rendered person walking through a non-rendered environment, and there's a non-rendered thing in the background moving.
Game development.
Exactly, game development. And a lot of people are like, this looks like a PS2 game. It's like, relax. Maybe I'm just narrow-minded here, but I think that's just the developer making a game.
Do these people, when they go to a restaurant, Joe, do they just walk in the kitchen and see the raw ingredients and be like, this isn't my filet mignon.
This food's not even made yet.
This isn't my cheeseburger.
Exactly.
What? That's a whole potato. That's not French fries. What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
What
are these utensils for? You know? Ah, boy, oh boy. Though, I will say, what's more exciting is PlayStation's making a sci-fi RPG. Akin to, I would say, like, think of, not saying this game's going to be 1-to-1 because People Can Fly and they're not BioWare. But think of like a Mass Effect, like sci-fi game, not like a Horizon sci-fi RPG. This is going to be a third-person shooter. So that being said, Kyle, does that idea excite you? And does the developer excite you that they're partnering with here for XDev?
Sure. I mean, this idea, this game excites me a whole lot. I want more sci-fi, because I love that. So any sci-fi is good by me. I don't have a whole lot of history with People Can Fly. I tried Bulletstorm back in the day,
not good.
I enjoyed my brief time with it. You said not good?
Not good. No.
Oh, I enjoyed a little bit of it, but the kicking enemies and chaining attacks and stuff got a little too complicated for me.
Sure.
I didn't have the most fun with it, but I dug the vibe it was going for.
Okay.
I'm just excited for a new thing.
Yeah. So I'm excited by, what they're doing. Again, like I think sci-fi RPG, I don't think we've seen enough of those. Again, like I can only think of off the top of my head, like Mass Effect. Like, yeah, that fun, awesome. But I am nervous about the developer because though People Can Fly made a pretty competent non-games as service game with Outriders, I think they're great when it comes to shooting, when it comes to the action part of it. Like they make fun games. But in terms of writing, that's where I get very, very nervous because Outriders' story and lore and dialogue are all very,
you got me
left
there.
to be desired. And when I think of like bad dialogue or like discovery, I always think of Outriders when I say, "Oh, look, there's a journal." When you find a new journal in the environment to read. So that's where I'm a little nervous. Hopefully we could get to see how PlayStation, XDev kind of works with this team and maybe offers up some different type of direction in terms of writing. That would be really cool because everything else I'm on board with. I think they're competent, but when it comes to story, I'm a little nervous. Yes, Kyle from the trophy room. Hi.
As the Gears of War fan here.
Yeah.
How was Judgment? Because they did Judgment.
Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Okay, I'm sorry I brought it up. I'm sorry.
There's a segment of the audience.
I'll go back to the blackboard.
Yeah. I think it goes back to I will not tell a lie and I will not bring up Gears of War Judgment. I think there's a segment of the Gears of War community that appreciates the game, but it still goes down to story and writing for them. It is not, they don't have a good track record there. So that's where I get nervous with them, but everything else, all right. I'm skeptical not skeptical. I'm hesitant about the game due to its, developer. I'm not casting it aside one bit. I'm excited. I'd like to see more of this game for sure. That's it.
And that's if it in fact is People Can Fly.
It could be someone else. I know there could be a British studio that's working on it. I know there's a few studios in Great Britain that are partnering with Sony. One of them on a dark RPG. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, you're right. It could be someone very much else, but who knows? Only time will tell. Maybe at a PlayStation State of Play.
Oh, what's one of those? What's that?
Well, you see, Kyle, in the long ago, PlayStation used to talk to us a whole lot. Kyle, it is time for Flash News. Gotta go. Gotta run fast. Oh, God. It's coming right after me. It's a clicker. It's going. All right. The Last of Us has a free 2-hour trial on PlayStation Premium. Just a coincidence. The show comes out and you're telling me, I know, you're going to get a trial with this bad boy. Kyle, who would have thought, why make The Last of Us remake? Why make The Last of Us remake, Kyle? Who
would have thought that after the first episode, they would put the 2 hours of the game available for everyone to play
crazy.
Of what we just watched in the episode? It's crazy.
It's maybe it's like what we've been saying for, the past few months now. It's like, maybe not every game PlayStation makes has to be for you. Maybe it's speaking to an audience that can exist and can be part of this ecosystem. Maybe it's that. Maybe that's why this remake exists. And gosh dang, it's a pretty one. So All right. Returnal comes to PC on February 15th. And it's going to have some cool PC knickknacks. Ready for these letters that I'll try to understand? All right.
I'm ready.
Screen optimization, DLSS, NIS, AMD, FSR. Thank you, Wario64, by the way. This is all you, not me. Ray trace shadows and reflections, DualSense capability. Oh boy, get a DualSense. Even if you're playing this on PC, come on. Dolby Atmos support and ultra wide support. Ooh-wee. Sounds good. Go double dip on Returnal. I know I will. Gotham Knights is up for free if you're a new PS Plus premium trial member. So you get another hour with Gotham Knights. If you're, lukewarm on it, you don't have to spend, $70. You could go try it out. Isn't that something? Isn't that neat? Mm-hmm. PlayStation 5 version 7.00 to include Discord and cloud streaming for PlayStation 5 games. This comes from Insider Gaming Tom Henderson, and this is pretty interesting. So I'll read a few paragraphs. The update, currently scheduled for March 8th, revealed by myself in August 2022. Okay, Tom, relax. Will include the full Discord integration that was revealed in 2021. In addition to Discord integration, sources have revealed that the PlayStation 5 games will also be streamable on PlayStation 5 via the cloud streaming to save that all-important drive space. It was said that this feature will include the PlayStation Plus Premium, or will be included in the PlayStation Plus Premium tier. The feature, under the codename Cronus, has been in development and testing for a number of months, sources have revealed. Insider Gaming also understands that there's a public beta for the PlayStation 5 7.00 update and will start in the coming days, with completion end date on January 30th. However, sources said that the beta testers will not be able to use the Discord integration functionality during this beta. So expect this imminently. But Kyle, we are not now forced, no longer, to use the god-awful PlayStation party chat. We can now be civilized folks in a civilized society using Discord. How does that make you feel?
As someone who hasn't used it in the first place, or rarely? Okay, cool. What I am excited about is just like what this means for our community on Discord.
Yes.
And what we can do with that channel on PS5.
Yeah.
Like, can we just have a room where people can just hang out in the Discord and talk to people who are gaming? Or can we like put in like, trophy screenshots or cool screenshots and share it with each other through the Discord integration? Ooh. I think that'd all be cool. Yeah. But like, maybe I'm just too pie in the sky with those things. Sure. I'm very eager to see just how in depth it is, though.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how in depth it is. Even if it's just like, hey, I'm popping into a voice channel, that's enough for me to say, you know what? Maybe now, instead of, when I'm playing, I can just pop into a Discord without having to be linked up to my PC, and we could all just chat and have fun with each other there. I think that'd be a really great way to communicate with y'all. Because a lot of the time I like to just veg out and just play some games. And I think by giving this opportunity, I think it could help us, come together as a community. I like this. This excites me.
Yeah.
But also streaming functionality of PlayStation 5 games. Talk about that PlayStation X or Microsoft partnership a while back, before the dark times of the ABK deal. They seemed pretty chummy. Maybe this is what that's coming to. That's really exciting. I would love to play PlayStation 5 games. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God, I'm gross. On my backbone. So yeah, this excites me a whole tremendous lot. Kyle is nodding and agreeing, but there's a storm overhead and he can barely understand me right now. So Kyle.
Oh, is that why we're all glitching out in the video?
That's why I sound like a robot to you.
Okay. Yeah. All right, cool.
Now, here's the next little story, Kyle. Are you ready for this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Ultimate Sackboy is a runner game for iOS and Android devices that launches on the 21st of February, 2023.
Ooh.
Yay. Last but not leastly, the PlayStation 5 detachable disc drive may not be compatible with the current digital edition. This is a rumor coming from WCCF Tech from Francisco de Mayo. What up, my man? They write, a PlayStation 5 hard drive revision is rumored to be in the works alongside a detachable disc drive. Unfortunately, it seems like the disc drive will not work with the current digital edition due to unspecific reasons. Speaking on Twitter, the ever-reliable Tom Henderson, who revealed the new console revision and detachable disc drive version a few months ago, provided an update on the matter, saying that the new revision won't feature any major hardware change from the original console, so it won't be like a Pro model. Additionally, the detachable disc drive will not likely be compatible with the current digital edition of the console. Kyle, your thoughts, your opinions, your take.
Oh, you've heard my thoughts on this. Frankly, stupid detachable disc drive.
Oh!
Where, if you wanted the ability to play discs, you should have gotten the disc edition.
Don't talk to me like a parent.
If you had, I'm going to talk to you like a parent because this is outrageous that they're wasting money on this kind of thing. You have two versions. You have two versions of the PS5, a disc version and digital. Why are you trying to make the non-disc version a disc version now?
You're really
for the same price as the disc version. And I'm gonna say it here. I said it then. This better mean that collector's editions come with a freaking disc now.
No,
there's no excuses.
There's no excuse to put those discs in there.
You're out of control.
Why am I out of control?
Why is there no reason to put a disc in there?
Because it's stupid.
Oh my God. You're buying a physical thing because you like physical things. It should come with the physical disc.
It has the code for the game.
Oh, it's not the same.
Well, nothing ever pleases you people anymore. You know?
What are you talking? Excuse me?
You physical media buying folks just don't understand. Okay?
I think you don't understand.
I think I understand perfectly well. We live in the age of 2023. If you can't get better internet, that's on you. That ain't on Mr. PlayStation, okay? That's what I'm saying.
It's so much more than internet.
What do you mean?
We should have a full-on offshoot episode.
Oh, we will.
About it for an hour and a half.
a new show called With Respect. With respect, I think you're an idiot.
With respect, Joe, your position sucks.
And you suck, yeah. Listen, I think this digital version makes sense. They want to just make it one SKU, right? You know, the separate disk drive, make it an option, because we're getting to the point now where digital is just, it's the way to be at this point, right? Like, it is the overwhelming majority of sales. And so when I take a look at, what PlayStation's trying to do, they are still trying to give you both of what people want, right? The choice of physical or digital, and just making it one SKU so that they don't have to, do weird math when trying to make consoles. So I don't think it's dumb that this edition exists. I think it's dumb that this drive wouldn't be working or able to work with a digital, current digital console.
Yeah. That's without being said. I think that's incredibly stupid.
Yes. Yeah. Incredibly dumb.
But I do think you talked in a circle a little bit there.
Why? What do you mean?
You contradicted yourself a little bit.
How did I contradict myself?
Digital is the way to go.
Right.
It's the future. It's here. Let's
you
include this disc drive for physical media.
If you want it, they're giving you choice. What's wrong with choice, Kyle? What's wrong with saying?
There's nothing wrong with choice, but they gave you the choice at the start.
Okay, but what if you have? Scenario here.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
You bought a digital console. You're loving it because it looks way better than the disc version, right? No one's even arguing that. It's less space. It's great. But then you have to move out somewhere that sucks. Like somewhere that's god-awful. Where do you live, Kyle?
I live on Eastern Long Island.
There you go. You got to move to Eastern Long Island, which
coming from a Jerseyan. Real nice.
Whoa.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, I've been watching a lot of Sopranos. How dare you, sir? talk about North Jersey. It's the best. I am.
This is such a stark contrast. If people just started listening to us at the award show when we spent, I don't know, a few minutes saying "I love you, I love you, I love you," and now we're like at each other's throats a little bit.
You know what? Just say 3, 2, 1. I love you, and then with respect. Ready? 3.
Okay.
Oh wait, this is gonna be hard because we're not synced up.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. I love you.
I love you.
But with respect. With respect.
This is dumb.
Oh, no, I think it's perfectly fine. Listen, Kyle, we're going to introduce a quick segment, okay? A new segment called Quick Play, where we each have 1 minute to talk about what we've been playing. All right? And while you go on your minute spiel, I gotta yell at someone downstairs because they're making a ruckus. Ooh. So take it away, sir.
Okay. I'm ready. Minute starts now. There we go. So, friends, I, with a little bit more time on my hands, I decided to really hop into some games. Been playing a little bit more Marvel, not Marvel Legends. Oh my God, Midnight Suns, and having a great time with that. I'm really, really digging it. I think the gameplay is king there. It just got to the difficulty spike that I was waiting from a former XCOM fan. Not former, but as an XCOM fan and playing those former games, I was expecting that difficulty spike. So I need to get back to it and get better at that game. But the main game I've been playing a ton of time with is Undermine. It's an indie that I talked about a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's a roguelite in a sense where you're just digging deep and trying to clear dungeons, and the upgrading is fantastic and it's fun. The gameplay loop has a thing like one more run. I also saw Bullet Train yesterday and it's really, really cool, and everyone should watch that movie.
It's on Netflix. It's great. Yeah. But the one chick has a weird nose and it freaked me out the whole way through.
How dare you?
All right, I got 1 minute to talk about a thing.
And go.
I've been playing Cyberpunk. I finally got my save working. Shout out to CD Projekt Red. You're the real ones out there. Congratulations. I love you so much. It's fantastic. I got the platinum and everything. Johnny Silverhand is going to go down as one of the best written characters in a video game for a very long time. He is fantastic, and I love it dearly. I can't wait for Phantom Liberty. Now, Kyle, if I could have some extended time to rant.
Okay.
All right?
I love how on the first time we do this, you're asking for extended time.
Because the audience deserves to know this. We've had trouble with PlayStation Direct.
Oh, okay. I'll allow it.
I will allow it. I talked to them, and they gave me the same spiel of we can't help you. This is beyond our troubleshooting capability. And I said, so you're telling someone, this is what I said. I almost went full Karen. Audience, you get to be the deciding factor of how Karen I went from scale to I'm gonna call your manager to I want to see your supervisor.
Length of Bob, where were you? Shoulder length, ear length, where were you?
Where was it? Shades were on or off? How wide were shades? I go, so you're telling someone who wants to buy the PlayStation VR 2, who wants to buy the DualSense Edge, that is currently an exclusive through only your store, that I am out of luck, ? Because I want to buy more things from you, but you're forcing me somewhere else. And for these exclusive deals, I can't get them unless I go through a shady third party. Is that what you're telling me?
Sounds familiar.
And then they go, we're going to send you an email to our supervisors that could handle this. So, Kyle, was that sufficient, you think?
No.
It wasn't. I was still upset. PlayStation, please fix it. But I didn't go Karen, right? I could have went full-blown Karen and go, I have a podcast? You know dozens of people listen to this. How dare you?
Yeah.
All right, how dare you say? But I didn't. But I did end it with, is there anything that I can review this conversation we had?
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to do that because it was unresolved. But they also said no.
Wild.
The PlayStation customer service, let's just give it a shout out to them. Absolutely awful. Absolutely dreadful. I can't believe 6-7 months later you got the same answer I got, where they disappear for a few minutes, they look into it, 10 minutes.
Then they come back and like, yeah, you know what? Sorry, we can't help you. Go to another retailer to buy your thing. Oh, how does that help?
How does that help?
It doesn't help at all. This is your thing.
I can only buy it through your thing.
So dumb.
And it seems like you need as many of these things to sell as possible. Let me buy the thing.
Yeah. Please. Wow. Wild.
All right, that's been our quick play segment.
That's been quick play.
Bam. Now, Kyle, are you holding on to something?
Yes.
Okay, what are you holding on to? That was a long sudden pause.
I got a little what is this? 10-sided die?
Ooh-wee. Roll for initiative, Kyle. Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals. Ooh-wee. Coming to the PlayStation storefront. The newest update to the PlayStation Premium and Extra tiers just landed. Back for Blood on PS4 and PS5. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition on PlayStation 5, Dragon Ball FighterZ Z on PlayStation 4, Erica on PlayStation 4, Jet the Far Shore on PS4 and PS5, Just Cause on PS4, Just Cause 4 Unloaded for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, Life is Strange Before the Storm. You know I'm going to be playing that. Life is Strange on PS4, added in January 17th. Hopefully they fix the bugs to that game. Omno on PS4, it's an easy plat. And Siphon Filter 2 and 3 on PlayStation Classic. And they have a trophy list, and guess what? The trophy lists are ridiculously easy. All you got to do is play the game, you get the platinum.
Sweet.
Now, for the PlayStation 4 and 5
more
games
classics, please.
Please? Come on. Come on. Some people want to play Tomb Raider.
Dino Crisis.
Exactly. You guys leaked it in October. You guys did it. January 17th, we get Ludo XXL on PlayStation 5. Miss Cat Between Worlds on PS5, PS4. Shadow Gangs on PS5. The Legend of Tyneding on PS5, PS4.
Oh, that game's out?
January 18th. Grey's Counter GM on PS5, PS4, Wings of Blue Star on PS4, January 19th, A Space for the Unbound on PS5, PS4, Persona 3 Portable on PS4, Persona 4 Golden on PS4, on the 20th, Monster Hunter Rise on PS5, PS4, and The House of the Dead remake on PS5. Kyle, I know there's a game that
beg you, Joe.
Yeah.
I beg you, look up the Legend of Shanding. I think
that's Shanding. Okay, I totally butchered.
I think so.
Let me take a look. Let me take a gander.
And look at this art style. And when I tell you that I've been waiting to play this game for a long time, I realize it's been on PC before. Mm-hmm. It is gorgeous, and it's like a beat 'em up.
Oh wow!
It's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks like the classic like 90s style esque like anime. And I can't name any off the top of my head, but there's one in particular that's dancing on my tongue. It's like the guy with the funny hair. I know that didn't narrow it down, but yeah.
JoJo? No.
I forget. It's everybody's like, I don't know. I saw it on like Toonami.
Naruto.
Remember Toonami? No, it can't be.
Oh, Johnny Bravo?
No, Toonami. Remember? I think his name was Bob. He show you all the anime. He show you Dragon Ball Z. Same voice of Neon White. No?
I don't remember.
All right, we're gonna look this up. Toonami.
Sorry. But
no, yes, it's Tom. Tom from Toonami. Remember Tom from Toonami?
Okay. I do not. No.
And I think the show that I'm thinking of came out right before Sailor Moon. The show I'm thinking of. So any 90s babies out there. A, how's your knees? They hurt like mine? Secondly,
I just like to think somebody yelling at me in their car right now because you were mentioning anime and I said Johnny Bravo. Yep. People are probably so mad at me for that. That's fine. But if you're listening to this on the day, January 19th, when this episode goes live, please, please, please. I realize there are two really good Persona games that are coming to PlayStation.
Please.
I get it.
Yeah.
Please check out A Space for the Unbound. It's one of my most anticipated games.
Oh, really?
For a long time now. It is the follow-up to a indie gem that I discovered called When the Past Was Around. Mm-hmm. A game with zero dialogue, but it's a very emotional story about relationships. Mm-hmm. And this is full warning. This is going to be a sad game.
No, come on.
It's one of of those sad games, and I'm
be happy.
Very excited for it. It's gorgeous. It's, I believe, Taiwanese developer.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember. Oh my god, why can't I type now?
I'm also really interested in Monster Hunter Rise. It is coming to Xbox Game Pass. I know that's a curse word to some people out there, so I might try it out then. But if y'all,
how come you don't bleep it?
You're right. It's coming to Xbox Pass.
Indonesian team, by the way.
Indonesian team. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I want to know, guys, will it have crossplay? Will it have crossplay or no? Let me know. If it has crossplay, I'll get it on PlayStation. If not, I'll try it out on Xbox. That's how I'm gonna roll. Because I really did like Monster Hunter World.
Rise have crossplay?
And apparently, Rise is the most accessible Monster Hunter game, so that excites me. All right,
Monster Hunter Rise does not offer crossplay or cross progression.
That's depressing. Come on, PlayStation, stop charging for it. All right, come on, relax. All right, Kyle, it's time for our favorite segment of the night. It's time for the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw! The fact that we're chopping in and out for each other and we're still able to get pretty damn on point.
Feels good.
We're like, here's the thing, Kyle, between you and me, we're really good at this. We're like,
thank you. I appreciate that. I think so too.
Again, Kyle's wigging out right now, like, and he can only hear me through like choppy bits, and he's navigating this episode like a master. It's nuts. Are you reading my lips? That's how you're getting it?
I mean, spoiler alert. I don't know if I ever told you this or said it on the show. I was, I'm going to say this in quotes, technically deaf until like I was 3.5.
Oh my God.
I had so much fluid on the inside of my eardrums that I couldn't really hear. So I focus on people's mouths and lip read.
Oh.
And still did that growing up. So I do that constantly. I'm always looking at people's mouths. And
wow. That's fascinating. You're like Daredevil, but for podcasters.
Not nearly.
You got toxic, you became supersonic. I love it. Don't meet Kyle in the hallway. He will f you up.
Listen, nobody puts Kyle in the hallway.
That's right. And lives to tell the tale. M9 Prime writes in. All right, just like you can too, you head on over to our Discord server. You head on over to @PS on Twitter. You ask us some questions. They write, is there anything you wish that Sony would bring back to the PlayStation 5 when it comes to hardware? Personally, I would love the back button attachment for the DualSense. I find more and more games that could use this, and so I keep my thumbs on the thumbsticks and do not have to lose the ability to aim with the face buttons. Yeah, man, I miss the back buttons. That back button attachment, y'all. Like, I know, like, how it may be funky. It's like, oh, the iToy attachment, whatever. Those back buttons were just so good. And yes, I'm gonna go buy an overpriced, DualSense Edge. Which shout out to Luke Lore from the Xbox Expansion Pass, the best Xbox podcast out there. That's right, Sean, did you hear that? Not the Xbox Drive, who's currently flubbing it up and making all sorts of mistakes in our fantasy league, but that's neither here nor there. Luke literally, he bought the controller for me and is shipping it out to me.
Nice.
That's the at lengths I have to go to buy something from PlayStation Direct. PlayStation, look at me. I want to buy your stuff. Why you gotta make it so hard? Kyle, what's a piece of hardware? Not the Vita. I'm not giving you that easy one out that you want to make a comeback.
I'm honestly having trouble coming up with one that isn't just special editions of the controllers.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, we just got a God of War Ragnarok one, which is great. I love it. Yeah. But like, I miss the days of more of those. Like, don't remember if it was a DualShock 4 or a DualShock 3. I can't remember which one, but for MLB The Show, they made a baseball themed one where it had the stitches on it, and just like unique kind of iterations on that. I would love more of.
Yeah.
Or just like give us our version of Design Lab.
Ooh.
Let us customize our DualSenses.
Yeah, come on. What do you have to lose? You know what's one I would love, Kyle?
Which one? Oh no. Oh boy.
This is the part of the show where I choose violence. Let's bring back Wonderbook, the Book of Spells, the PlayStation Move bundle. All right.
Oh, okay.
We have the book on the floor, and we're turning it all sorts of ways, so that this could be a true character test for people if they want to buy this game and support that evil J.K. Rowling. Because nobody thought this was going to be good, right? But now that people are seeing the Hogwarts Legacy, they're like, oh, it looks fantastic. We got moral quandaries, moral dilemmas, It's fun. But in seriousness, use the Wonderbook. Kyle hates me right now. He's not even reading my lips. He's looking at me with ire.
It's not, I don't hate you. It's whatever.
Kyle's tired. Kai. But use the book and make a puppeteer game. Come on.
Ooh.
Make it so you got you got little moving stuff. AR tech, man. It's there. Let's do it. Let's get weird. Yeah. A Sackboy would work great in that world as well. Yeah. Wonderbook, but less problematic. All right, Kyle. The next question here comes from, and I'm going to skip around. I'm going to catch you on your toes.
Let's go.
Who writes in, where do you guys see the Left Behind storyline in the Last of Us TV series? Similar to the game, so when it's wintertime, or earlier on in the TV series, so that they can show more backstory for Ellie? This kind of leaves to little predictions for like next week's episode, but I think it's next week's episode.
And I also think it's next week's episode.
Yeah.
It just makes sense from a TV episodic format where I don't want to spoil the show, even though it's based on the game, but people haven't seen it yet.
Sure.
It's fine, but
welcome. This is PlayStation.
Yeah. There's a thing about Ellie that they talk about in episode 1 that would make sense to the origins of how that happened immediately afterwards.
Yeah. So it's like,
I do think Left Behind stuff is next episode, but we'll probably get more throughout the whole season.
Yes. And I think I think it'll be flashbacks and pieces within certain story beats of where we see Ellie get infected. Next week's episode is only 50 minutes. I love this because we're going to be totally wrong by the time someone listens to this. So they have to do a couple of things really fast to get to episode 3 if we all know what that story beat is. So I don't know if they could fit the whole thing there, but I think they could fit a good chunk of it. So that's where I think you're going to see a lot of it next episode, for sure.
I do think, though, that there won't be as much jumping around in this episode, because I feel like they did that in episode 1, so we can figure out who all the players are.
Sure.
But now I think we're following that trio.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to, cut to Marlene or anything.
Maybe
at this
we
point.
do.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Maybe we do. All right. Una writes in, hey guys, hope you're both doing the best you can be doing. Thank you. Back right at you. I have now finished Koro no Sake. Did I nail it, Kyle? I think I did.
No.
Damn it.
Kuro no Kiseki.
You know what? You want to read this? Because I'm going to butcher all these names.
Sure.
With respect, I'm pushing this over to Kyle.
I have now finished Kuro no Kiseki, and now it's time for my Trails break till Trails to Azure, and then do Kuro 2, Aaron Way will return in April 2024. That sounds like the end of an MCU credit.
Right?
Aaron Way will return. With finishing Kuro no Kiseki, it leads me to my question. What are your favorite memories for staying up late to finish a game? With finishing up Kuro, I stayed up until 1 a.m. last night to finish it, and even though it was not the most practical thing, had to wake up at 5:30 a.m. to do, I still had fun doing it, so I throw the ball to you guys. What memories do you have staying up to finish a game?
I wouldn't say, so I don't do it anymore, like staying up late to finish a game, But I think the most fun I had, or the last time I had a lot of fun staying up till God knows when, was actually playing Overwatch. There was one time, y'all, I played Overwatch until at least 5:30 or 6:30 in the morning. And I looked at the clock at one point going, well, I'm already here. It's too late for me to go to sleep. I'm going to cut my losses and keep playing as Reaper. So that was, I think, the last true time. And I think the most fun, honestly, I had with the game. Just me in the game for hours, just getting lost in it.
Yeah. You brought it up with the 2 questions ago.
Sure.
I was up in my room on my Vita at nighttime, and I was just getting into Danganronpa, the first game.
Okay.
On Vita, and next thing I knew, it was 5:30 a.m. and I had to wake up at 6 to go sub at the school, and I was like, "Oh boy, this is bad. Where'd the time go?" I had no idea because I was so engrossed in that story and that game. That's the first one that comes to my mind. But like, again, with multiplayer stuff, I remember staying up for Rocket League a ton when that game first came out. I lose so many hours to that.
Yeah, I think Elden Ring's another one. I played that in between lunch breaks. That's how much I loved it. But yeah, I truly think Overwatch is like the best memory I've had with it. Sure. Cloudside writes in, hi guys, amazing Game of the Year show. It was my favorite Game of the Year show made this year. Talking about the GOATY, a hidden gem released in December that deserves to have been a contender for Game of the Year, but not a single show mentioned it. And that's probably due for it coming out late in the year. That is Chained Echoes, was released on everything to high review scores. It averages right now 92 for PC. It's a excellent 2D pixel-based, turn-based RPG that is compared to Chrono Trigger and etc. It was made mostly by one single dev, Massis Linda. I've played a few hours of it so far. It's beautiful and is said to be a master class in cast and world building. Maybe we would consider it for this year's up-and-coming GOTY for Best RPG once everyone's had their chance to experience it. Yeah, this one came out, I think, literally like around Christmas. So there was just no way. It's also no way to give a fair Game of the Year, nod to something that's coming out so late and such a tight deadline. Thank you for enjoying the show, because that was a beast of an episode to edit. Shout out to Kyle, who gave me all the points of where I needed to edit as well. That saved me literally hours. So thank you. Thank you.
This game looks gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
I had no idea about Chained Echoes until this point.
Maybe you check it out. Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? But yeah, thank you for all that.
Jeez.
Yeah, we have so many plans for already next year's Game of the Year show. And the show itself, Kyle, we broke over 5,000 views, which we broke 6,000 last year, but that was in the span of a month. So just to see that we did that in less than a week is telling. And the retention rate for podcasts is typically at 40 to 50% for podcasts. We're right now at 65% for that episode. That's a 4-hour podcast. We're typically we're typically at 80%, and that's for way less of the time. So to see y'all really tune in for this has been a huge success. And I don't share stats often, but that's something that's worth bragging about. So thank y'all very much. That said, Spider C11. Hey guys, how's everything feeling? First, I'd like to say thanks for your kind words and recommendations 2 shows ago. The Pedialyte was a lifesaver. Your Game of the Year show was Chef's Kiss. Mwah. Hopefully, one day we can get a live show. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here are my questions / opinions for this week. Applause to anyone that worked on the HBO Last of Us show. What a jump off. Can't wait for the rest. Is there one thing from the game that either of you can think should get changed in the show? What would that be and why? Kind of chance for Neil to course correct, perhaps. Is there anything from The Last of Us prior The Last of Us show? I feel like they already did it with a character that we'll see in episode 3. Again, we can't.
Oh, yeah. But also just in episode 1, he has answered so many questions.
Yes.
And gave us reasons for why things happened in the first game.
Yeah.
Already. Like simple things as to like, where was Joel?
Yep.
At the beginning of the game. So like those little things do wonders in filling in the gaps in the game. And just more of that, please. Because I can't think of like, obviously we're not going to get a full 5-10 minute segment in the show of Joel moving a plank of wood and putting it down, or like moving a dumpster over so Ellie can get up high.
We got a ladder. We got the ladder.
Yeah, we did get the ladder. Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
I want to see what they do with Philadelphia. And that's all I'll say on the matter, because there's
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, sorry, I said Philadelphia. Yeah. I want to see what they do there, because there's a character that's going to be introduced that wasn't in the original game that I think is the ultimate course correction, because we just had this weird villainous ATV through that level, which I hope they do more with here. If that makes any sense. Like there's more of a reason why they're going after, Joel and Ellie. That's what I would like, for sure.
Oh, remind me after the show to talk to you about something I noticed after the episode.
Oh, okay.
About a future spoiler. I don't want to say it here to ruin anything.
Fair enough. Todd Oxher writes, and this is the last question of the show. So Todd, let's hope it's good. All right. Yeah, lots riding on this. With Starfield coming in 2023, most likely, right? For Xbox, do you anticipate? Sorry, that was a scoff. That was me playing in jest. Yeah. No, I'm not sorry. Do you anticipate PlayStation to have any counter Western RPG category, or will they step away from that and focus solely on JRPGs? Good question.
That's a good question.
I think like a game like Horizon serves as like, this is a Western RPG, but I think what you're alluding to is like the first person Western RPG. Because Bethesda, with that gone, Elder Scrolls and Fallout and now Starfield, these are going to be big games. Outer Worlds. Yeah. Like these are big games, or will be big games. Xbox is banking on Starfield. So, they're going to pour a whole bunch of money into it. Xbox doesn't have a lot of moment games, to quote our good friend Ainsley Bowden over at Season Gaming, and I agree. They don't have games that everybody stops and goes, oh my God, this is out, and this is all we're going to talk about for a few weeks. Starfield has the chance to be that game. So I think they're good with what they have so far. Something like a Final Fantasy 16 is going to be huge for PlayStation. But I do think when we look at games in XDev right now, we're going to see more Western RPGs. I would say what I'd like to see them invest in is more Western RPGs, because that's something taken from their portfolio that I feel like they now need. Kyle, your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. I think they have a plan in place. I think as far as RPGs go, from traditional RPGs, I think between Xbox and PlayStation, I'm going to take Nintendo out of it because they do a really good job on the RPG front.
Yeah.
I think PlayStation trounces Xbox in that category. I can't think of many traditional RPGs that Xbox has going for them.
Sure.
Just in the history of Xbox, PlayStation's always been pretty good at having those experiences on their ecosystem. And I think we've seen it with like that 2023 hype up video. They are really leaning into these partnerships with other studios to fill in those gaps. So I think that is where we'll get those Western RPGs until it is time for another PlayStation Studios dev to want to make something in that vein, like Guerrilla with Horizon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Kyle, and great question, Todd. You done did it.
Yeah.
That's been the trophy room this week, Kyle. That's it. Back to the old grindstone, my man. Weekly PlayStation news. Ooh wee. And next month we got a ton of games to talk about. I mean, next week we're gonna have, for what it's worth, Forspoken and Dead Space to talk about. Next week after that, it's just like we got, Ishin, Like a Dragon. Like, we got a lot of games coming out in the next few weeks, and I'm excited to get my hands on. So, with that said, with all that out of the way, Kyle, is there anything you'd like to, highlight before we get on out of here?
Sure. Highlight myself, Mr. K-Step, on Twitter and pretty much everywhere. If you want to follow the latest and greatest in all things indie games, I stole that from you, Joe. You hit up 61indie, SIXONEINDIE on Twitter, YouTube, the .com, the local phone book. I don't know. 61 IndieCast on podcast services. And if you want to, or stay tuned to our mini indie game showcase, which is our own E3 style presentation, where right now I think we have 19 million confirmed games for the showcase to show off to everybody, and it's gonna be really, really cool, so look out for that.
You can find me over at Mr. Badbit. You can find the show over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. You can find this show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you find your podcast service of choice. You can find the show there. And please, 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 this is a big one for me. I would like in North America for us to get over the 300 5-star reviews in the US of A. So if you're in the US, please rate us a 5-star review. It really does help us out. It gets us on the top charts on iTunes. It also gets us in just more eyes across our show because we pour a whole lot of love, dedication into it. And that goes for anybody around the world. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us that 5-star review. It really does help. There's a lot of people like, I would love to give you $1 on Patreon, but I can't. This is a great way to support the show if you can't financially. That it really does go a long way. And Spotify as well. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. It tremendously helps get more ears in and on the show. So, with all that said, and with all that out of the way, Kyle, and everybody, keep hunting. Sorry, keep your wits about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
Bye. Love you.